All right. This is going to by far be my best content that I create on TikTok. Rebu Diaries. Eventually, this is going to be a book of stories and poetry. So, we're going to talk about each writer that I had. I'll change the names. And that's how we're going to do this. I mean, technically, I don't really have to change the names because I'm not saying last names. So you know what? I'm gonna actually sometimes I'm gonna say the person's name, but I'm not gonna use their last name. I mean, I don't have their last name. Sometimes I do get their last name. That's a whole different conversation. And we're just gonna talk until 10 minutes is up, right? That's how we're gonna make this work. It's the rules of engagement. So all right, here we go. So it is, what is today's date, y'all? Today is the 19th. So in military time, it is 046 and or 047 0047, and it is what did I just say is the date? 19/02/24. I think that's how you do it. I have to ask my brother about that. I googled it, but I don't know. I think that's the standard way to do it. Time, date, in that format. So here we go. First writer of the night, I got started. What time did I get started? I didn't get started till like 9 or 10 or something like that. Kind of late start, but it's been a long week. I've put in over like 60 hours on this Rebu grind, and yeah, a brother is tired. So this person's name is Anshul. Now, what was interesting about on that name is there was a young lady I went to college with up at Truman State in Kirksville, Missouri. I went there for 2 years, and then later on I finished at Bradley. There was this young lady there who I had the biggest crush on. But at the time, I was dating my former wife, right? And so, but me and Anshu were friends. Her name was Anshu with no L. ANSHU. Me and Anshu used to hang out, and she actually came over to my apartment maybe once or twice. I don't even know what happened. I think we just watched a movie together. We just hung out. She was cool, and I've hung out at her apartment before with her friend Tripty, and they used to call me Kali Badar, which apparently I think is monkey. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. Anyway, Anshul with an L, this Rebu writer, he didn't call me a monkey. He didn't call me Kali Badar. In fact, he was quiet the entire ride. It was like a 35-minute ride from the airport way out to OP, Kansas. And he was on the phone laughing a lot. He wasn't very loud, though. Thank God, he was quiet. He was on the phone with his, I think his lady, his wife, girlfriend, I don't know, the whole time. So I just had my podcast playing. I was listening to this podcast about guns in the United States. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but it was good. At some point, I'm going to share some videos about different podcasts that I like too. Just another side piece of content. So yeah, that was cool. Nothing too exciting. Sometimes I like when they talk because it makes the ride go by quicker, I feel like, and it's more engaging. And then sometimes I'm like, I get in these weird moods. I'm like, man, I'm not in the mood to talk right now. Or sometimes their breath be stinking. I'm like, oh, please stop talking. But sometimes I wonder, like, is my breath stinking? I carry mouthwash and gum to try not to have stinky breath. Anyway, it's a whole nother discussion. I carry deodorant too. All right, let's keep going. The next writer was Reykjavik. Let's call him Vic, like Michael Vick. He was cool. He was quiet most of the ride. I still have my earbud in. I was listening to this Locked On Lakers podcast. And it's funny because he had on a Lakers jersey with LeBron on the back. Yeah, a Lakers shirt or something like that. And yeah, normally I play music, but for some reason I decided not to play music. And then he started playing his own music on his phone. I was like, dude, He had some interesting like techno going on or whatever it was. And then at the end, what happened to where he asked me a question? And then in the way I said it to him, oh, he like asked me where I was from or something like that. A lot of people I throw them off because I look like I could be like at least 5 different nationalities. Some people think I look Ethiopian. Some people think I'm Dominican. People just be asking me like, where are you from? Like, but they're trying to figure out like where I'm from originally, like what country. I'm like, I have no clue. I was like, some people, there's a rumor that I might be Cuban or Dominican. Anyway. And then I started speaking to him in Spanish, and he's like, do you speak Spanish? I was like, habla español poquito. Mi español es así. He's like, oh, you good, man? Da, 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 da. And we ended up having a whole good little conversation for like the last bit of the ride. It turns out he's from Venezuela. He's been here for 8 years. Anyway, he was out, and I took him out to Olathe. I need to keep going. I need to make this quicker. I only got 4 minutes. And I don't want to do a part 2 on this. The next rider, all right, quick, was this white chick named Samantha. Picked her up in the Nexa and took her down to like Westport, Kansas City. People in Kansas City know about Westport. Anyway, we had a good talk because she's talking about going down to Mississippi. She's like not getting along with her roommate, and her roommate is a guy. So we had a whole conversation about that, and then she's thinking about going out to Mississippi just for a getaway trip. I'm like, who goes to Mississippi for a getaway trip? But apparently she wants to go down to the beach down there with another guy friend. I was like, oh boy, you already know. He wants something in return. Anyway, we had a great conversation. She's 41. I was giving her some tips about like living that nomad life because she's thinking about staying down there eventually, like doing the whole hippie vibe kind of thing, nomad life. So I was telling her about my experiences in Charlotte and in Cali with that. Then the next rider was this cute chick from Vietnam named Hallie. We had a great conversation. What's wild is I just had some riders yesterday who were going to Vietnam for a vacation on a cruise. I didn't even get a chance to tell Hallie that because all of our other great conversation was great. And yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to incriminate myself, but there's more details I could share about that interaction. But I'll just let y'all use your imagination. Nothing crazy, but yeah. We'll see. Stay tuned on that. She was adopted from Vietnam, and she has like 2 sisters that are Cambodian, or partial Cambodian. We had a great conversation. But she probably I'm assuming she has a boyfriend because I picked her up from Main Street downtown, and it was midnight. And just before midnight. So I'm gonna assume that she has a boyfriend. All right, last rider of the night was Shandy. She was a beautiful volleyball mom. There's a big volleyball tournament here in town, here in Kansas City, right? And so she was married, but she was cool to talk to. She's like from Phoenix, and she's going to link up with one of her friends that's a mom from Atlanta, and they're going to hang out at this hotel and just talk, I guess. And it's just cool meeting all these. There's a volleyball competition here in Kansas City this weekend. It's like the big one, like the best of the best, age 14 to 18 are here competing from all over. I've had moms from Idaho, Chicago, Phoenix, a lot of Phoenix people, and it's pretty intense. And there's scouts from all over the country. So we had a good talk. It's just interesting that I feel bad because I told her she should check out Truman State. I was like, yeah, they're one of the best D2 programs for women's volleyball in the country. That's what it was when I was going there. Then I looked them up, and they're in last place in their conference. I was like, oh boy. UMSL, University of Missouri St. Louis, is actually number 1. That's what I should have told her about, but oh well. All right, y'all. Till next time. Hope you enjoyed this first or second edition of Rebu.